no need to generate any complications further. I'll just snap up this knight. So he takes, and I take, and he protects his e7 now with this move f5. And I realise now that all is not over for him yet. And okay, I'm thinking, he could get back. This could be another winning position I mess up, and I'll have, quite a few sleepless nights over it. So I wanted to avoid that scenario. So I managed to observe, actually, his king still can't get out without losing another exchange. In other words, he's going to be an entire rook down if he loses the exchange here in any variation. But I think after knight b6 he's going to lose the exchange, because knight d5 is so strong coming up, which he can't stop. So after rook d8, I just played bishop takes c5, and he can't wriggle out with king f8 because there'll be knight d5. So actually, thankfully, to my great relief, he resigned this position. So it was actually kind of strange. I just felt the whole game had too much originality about it. But maybe it's okay. It's like similar to a reverse Albin counter-gambit. And statistically on chess games, this line has got good results for white, but there's a very low game sample in this line. So maybe the Levitsky attack, people don't tend to play c5 against the Levitsky attack. I don't know. Are you aware of much of the Levitsky attack? Please tell me. Is c5 played? Do people usually play something else? Maybe d takes c5. I think Stephen mentioned d takes c5 has been played against him before. But I think e4 is kind of more energetic gambit style for white. And it really did pay off in this particular game. But I think a key improvement, which I believe he believes was a key improvement the next day when we chatted about it, was to delay, of course, b4. Just put more pressure on d5 with the move bishop b7. So I think that's a case of keeping the tension and building up some pressure rather than committing, putting all the eggs in one basket. I think those go together. Once you commit with b4, all the eggs in one basket, d5 possibilities are less now, and it's more to do with trying to get an attack. But black is lagging in development. If he can get the fianchetto and the queen working and the knight e4s and the diagonal, yeah, it will be trouble. But black's just behind in development. He hasn't completed his development. The attack is less likely to succeed here logically. c3 is vulnerable, but he hasn't got enough pieces on it yet. And I'm blasting him through the centre with this d6 move. So accelerating, okay, if I move the knight I'm dead, I'm going to lose a2, I'm going to get mated. But here is where, I can just sack the exchange to expose the fact that his king is, trapped in the centre. The funny thing is, it never really sort of interested me, when I was looking at rook d7 about the queen. But it's funny, isn't it, that these light squares are actually weaker with that bishop out, and knight c6 is actually checkmating the black queen. He had mentioned he might have played queen b5, but I think this is just hopeless, because any move here like bishop e5 has got big threats, like bishop f6 and queen e7 mate. So this would be just all over for black. There's loads of possibilities of just winning. So that would have been all over, just knight c6 immediately. So I prolonged things with bishop c4. And then, so I do play knight c6 anyway, and I do win material, but it's not as critical as what it could have been. But it's enough, thankfully, to force to encourage resignation. Comments or questions on YouTube? Thanks very much.